What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the podversation.
These rumors were made by radical black racists. Let's just say that. Okay? It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them. Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say a name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean...
The FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is. I'm just keeping it a buck. And their shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like, you know, your leader? Yo, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. Yo, bro.
All right, so you heard what FatJoe said, and there is so much I could say, but you guys know over here I like to keep things as brief as possible, so I'm not going to go into a diatribe, I'm not going to do a soliloquy, I'm not going to do an hours-long podcast about this. But here's the thing. What he said, he was dead wrong for saying what he said. And when it comes to rap and the hip-hop culture, I often feel like a lot of times, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but it's just what I see as being the truth, or definitely facts, because facts can change, truth never changes. But I definitely see this as facts. When it comes to rap and the hip-hop culture, so to speak, those who are in the community that are the majority of that community, they will allow pretty much almost anyone to come into it and to operate in it, when we already know that what they're doing is not just because something that they enjoy, but they're doing it because it's something that's profitable to them. Like if you often look at commercials where they do rap and stuff like that, I see that as clown stuff, is my personal opinion. But they will allow almost anyone to come into it, even if they're not great at it. But it's like a low bar when it comes to being a rapper, you know, or being in what they call this hip hop culture. You know, so you can have people like this chick who went viral for being on the Dr. Phil show, for telling somebody in the audience, "Cash me outside." How about that? This, you know, little white girl. And here's the thing, I don't even like using the colors, because this is another thing too. And I've had these conversations with people that I know for quite some time. Colors and race was created to divide and conquer. And it's unfortunate that myself and others who are seen as black or African American, I'm not black. I am not a color. Neither are so-called white people white. Nobody is a color. There is no other ethnicity on the planet Earth that calls themselves a color. Italians, Hispanics, which FatJoe is, you know, Greek people, Arab people, Indians from the country India, the Native Americans, Africans, Colombians, just to name a few. We don't call any of these colors. You don't call them colors. We don't even call Mexican people colors. But when it comes to Caucasians, mainly in the United States of America, and African Americans in the United States of America, and then in other nations too, you call people black. They're black this, they're black that. But nobody is black. Nobody is white. And there is a woman who I follow for some time, and I'm recording this early, so forgive me that I don't have my names on the tip of my tongue right now. But she said this perfectly. She said, nobody is black. Everyone actually are shades of brown if we want to call people colors. But I am also of the mindset that we really shouldn't be calling ourselves or anyone else colors. But this isn't about that. I just wanted to preface all of this by saying that, because what Fat Joe said was extremely disrespectful. And for all of those other people that were in that barbershop during that podcast recording that Math Hoffa actually took down because of the backlash, nobody pushed back on him. Nobody said something. Nobody was like, hold up, wait a minute. And the fact that people like him and others that are in the mainly Hispanic community, or they call themselves Afro-Latina because that's become a new phrase now over the past several years, calling people the N-word. And I'll admit, and I don't use it often, but there are a few times I will use the N-word. But I'll be honest, when I'm using the N-word, talking about people like, for example, Martell Holt, who's on the reality show Love and Marriage Huntsville, I am using it in a disrespectful way. I don't call anyone my N-word. I don't use it as a term of endearment. I don't. Now, I know there are a lot of people who use that word as a term of endearment, and they flipped it and reversed it, and they wanted to take ownership of it and make it their own, and they take the ER off of the N and put the A there. But we have to be honest, that word is a negative word. It is. I don't call anyone the N-word as a term of endearment. I don't. And so, with that being said, the fact that Fat Joe felt comfortable enough to sit there and say those things because he was upset because of something with regards to the foundational Black Americans, which he is labeling it as a group when it's actually supposed to be the label for a group of people, not a group or organization in that way. But also being disrespectful by calling people broke. I don't know what it is about people that like to use that term when it comes to bringing someone down or speaking something negative against someone. They'll say, well, he's broke or she's broke. That might be true, but why is it something that you, as someone that has been, either you work for or both, you work for and have been given opportunities where you have amassed money and status and access, where money is not a struggle for you, why would you call other people broke when you should be helping people? Not saying that you don't, but nobody who is in a status of actually having should be calling anyone broke, because nobody who's in their right mind, I will say, wants to be broke. I don't believe most people who live on the streets and who are homeless that have been doing that for years are in their right mind. A lot of those people have a lot of mental health issues, and that's why they're there. Nobody in their right mind wants to be homeless. Nobody in their right mind wants to struggle and be broke. So to use that term against people that you disagree with or you don't like the things that they're saying is disrespectful. And then for him to call Black people racist, that is 100% wrong. Black people could be prejudiced. Anyone can be prejudiced, but only those who are in the positions of authority in this country, which we know are predominantly Caucasians. It's not even predominantly, it is Caucasians. It comes with powers and the structures, and that's why we hear about systemic racism. Black people don't have the power to be racist. They could be prejudiced, but you're mad because people were speaking the truth about hip-hop and rap and how it was founded. Is crazy to me. So, here's the thing. FatJoe said what he said with all of his chest. He meant exactly what he said. So, in my personal opinion, there is no reason for him to retract. There is no reason for him to apologize, because the only apology that anyone should be receiving and the only apology that should be given is the apologies that are not forced. If he came out and apologized, he would only be doing it because he would be losing something or some things. And we know when it all boils down to it, it's all about money, right? I've never been into him. I've never been into his music. I don't know what the appeal is, but to each their own. But the only way he's really going to feel the effects of what he said is if he loses followers and people stop supporting whatever it is that he does. I don't even know what he does, so I couldn't even tell you. I heard Lord Jamar, who was in the rap group years ago, Brand Nubian, and he does commentary on things a lot. And he said that people should boycott his music. I couldn't do it because I don't support his music. So there's nothing for me to boycott. I don't follow him. But for those who do, maybe that's what you need to do. But this is a prime example of people like him who have either grown up around it and they've become acclimated to it and they have been supported by it, meaning, the African Americans in the African American communities and this hip hop society, hip hop culture, rap music, all of that stuff that he has been able to enjoy and benefit from in a major way, showing you their real hand and how they really feel about you when you piss them off. This isn't about just one person. He didn't name a person. He didn't name an individual. He named a group of people. And that is a huge problem. And the fact that he feels so comfortable to say I'm just going to say what he said, whoever these broke niggas are, this is the type of stuff that I have a problem with. When people want to give passes and excuses for people, and I'm just going to name the name because this is what happens. People like him, Cardi B, who is not African American. She is who she is, and she knows who she is, and I don't have a problem with that. But you all allow people like those to use that word and just throw it around like it's okay. But when they use that word, they're not using it in a term of endearment. Have you ever heard, maybe you have, I don't know, but I'm asking a question. Have you ever heard Cardi B, when she says the word niggas, use it as a term of endearment? I'm not trying to make this commentary about her, but I'm using this as an example. I'm not here to say that only so-called Black Americans should be able to enjoy and benefit from and be in this hip-hop culture. But if you all are going to allow anybody and anyone to enjoy it and become a part of it and benefit from it, then you really need to set your parameters. And I don't believe I've ever heard Eminem use the word. I know Eminem is a Caucasian man, but even he has been smart enough to not use that word. Not saying that if he used it, he would have used it and he would have gotten backlash from using it. But even he, I believe, feels that it's not appropriate for me to use that word because I know where it stemmed from. But he's clearly butthurt because a documentary about hip hop does not give him and people that look like him, people that are his ethnicity, the credit for anything when it comes to the hip hop culture. So I'm going to read someone's comment that said, FatJoe is a cultural appropriator who has continually tried to rewrite Black American freedmen history as it pertains to our music, specifically hip hop. He knows that Latinos and Caribbeans did not create hip hop, and he is upset that the film Microphone Check completely debunked his lies. He is on record years back stating that he was merely a participant in the industry, not a founder, and that Latinos were not founders. He has declared himself an enemy of Black Americans. We do not support him. That's someone's comment. I am just here to say that what he said to me doesn't surprise me at all. So there's nothing shocking about that. Nothing shocking to me about what was said. If you look at who he is and, got the shaved head now and whatever, he can present himself as maybe a lighter skinned male. But when he was at the Kamala Harris rally, he called himself a Puerto Rican. Okay? And if that's who you are, then stand in that. Doesn't mean that you cannot be a part of what you have been a part of all of these years. Obviously, you've been able to benefit from it in a major way, but don't get butthurt because people are just saying that these are the history facts, the real receipts of how hip hop was founded, and you don't like it. So now you're going to call these people radical Black racists. It's not that they're hating, they're just speaking facts. So when they're speaking facts, you respond with hate, and you respond with denigration, and you respond with calling people broke niggas and radical Black racists and just foul stuff. And now we'll see what comes of this, because I don't see anybody getting up off his neck at least in the next few days. Now, I don't know what else is going to come out that's going to take the heat off of him. But to me, for him to sit and do that podcast in that barbershop with Math Hoffa and nobody sat there and tried to challenge him or correct him or push back on what he said, even to say, why you got to call them broke niggas, like, that was not a term of endearment, okay? Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye. Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how. Rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. Don't wanna feel it, what is left. I've been thinking about us and the things you said. How you don't feel enough to come share my bed.